Luigi Mangione is in New York awaiting his trial for the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Now the judge has ruled that a gun and notebook that were found in Mangione's backpack can be used as evidence at the trial, potentially linking him to Thompson's killing. Initially, there were questions as to whether or not the items were permissible in court, considering the way the items were initially obtained, but here is what the judge had to say.
A victory in part for Luigi Mangione. Judge Gregory Carroll ruling just a few moments ago, issuing his written ruling that some of the items that police found in Mangione's backpack will be suppressed. In other words, the jury, when the state trial starts, expected in September, will not learn about some of those items that apparently does not, though, include the gun. Here's how it went down. The police got a phone call. They believe that the suspect in the shooting of Brian Thompson was sitting at McDonald's. They show up at the McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, start talking to him. He has his backpack, and one officer moves it with his foot away from him. Another officer then places the backpack 9 feet away on a table. That's when Altoona police officer Christy Wasser starts rummaging through it. She at one point said she thought there could be a bomb. And that's when Mangione was then talked to and placed into handcuffs. Well, Judge Caro says that search was illegal. He apparently, in his ruling, says that was not proper because there wasn't a search warrant at that time. So he has ruled that the items found in the backpack at the McDonald's will not be included in the trial.
So as to the map issues, I find that the search of the backpack at the McDonald's was improper warrantless search, that the backpack was not within the immediate control or grabbable area of the defendant, and further, the people failed to demonstrate exigent circumstances. Therefore, those items found in the backpack during the search at the McDonald's will be suppressed. However, the people have established that the subsequent search of the backpack at the station was a valid inventory search, and therefore the items recovered at the station will not be suppressed. So as to the Huntley issue, I find that the defendant was not in custody until about 9:47 a.m.
He said there that any items obtained from the search of Mangione's things at the McDonald's in Pennsylvania where he was found would not be permissible in court because cops did not have a warrant at the time. These items include a loaded gun magazine, a cell phone, a passport, a wallet, and a computer chip. Mangione is being tried at the state and federal level in September and October of this year, respectively. Mangione is facing life in prison, and he has pleaded not guilty to all charges. And while a strong case is being built against him, Mangione has not lost any of his luster in the eyes of the public. Meanwhile, United Healthcare continues to be terrible. In Texas, one surgeon who made TikTok videos detailing her interactions with the healthcare giant says that they began retaliating against her.
Do you have an alcohol swab, please?
Dr. Elizabeth Potter says the Austin, Texas surgery center she opened in April of last year is at risk of going under.
Can we please get this implant open?
She specializes in a complex breast reconstruction procedure and says most of her patients are cancer survivors. While she is in United Healthcare's network as a surgeon, her surgery center is not. Why do you think you were denied access?
Money. They have had a PR nightmare of a year. I think they're angry.
Because of the videos you've posted?
Because of all of it.
It's gotten ridiculous that insurance companies really do control when and what kind of care we deliver.
In January, Dr. Potter started posting videos critical of United.
I had another patient come in and share with me that United denied her inpatient stay.
Like this one, where she says the insurer interrupted a surgery in progress.
I got a phone call into the operating room saying that United Healthcare wanted me to call them.
United pushing back, saying United Healthcare did not ask, nor would it ever expect a physician to interrupt patient care to return a phone call. United Healthcare says they did not ask you to step out of surgery.
Yeah, I know. Did they physically make me leave the OR? No. But in 2025, with insurance, When they say jump, I say how high.
Dr. Elizabeth Potter is trying to run a cancer surgery center in Texas, which is already a state that is antagonistic towards anything pertaining specifically to women's health care. So the cards are already stacked against her. She began speaking out against the struggles doctors face when trying to provide health care to patients while constantly having to fight with insurance companies. And now she says that she is being personally targeted for speaking out. And in the end, her patients are the ones that suffer.
Dr. Potter believes her videos are part of why her center remains out of United's network.
You think this is retaliation?
Absolutely.
United Healthcare says not so, that its members have sufficient options for care in the region without her surgery center, and that it informed Dr. Potter on October 1st of last year that it wasn't accepting new surgery centers in her area, well before she posted any videos. Dr. Potter says there were ongoing discussions about her center getting into the network that stopped once she started speaking out.
And I don't know how United defines negotiations. There were emails between our consultants and folks at United after October 1st.
United Healthcare insists there were no ongoing negotiations. Potter says she is in talks to join other insurers' networks, but that United Healthcare's ability to close its network is an unfair power imbalance, and without it, she may not be able to keep her center open.
I've got several months.
Months is
And
not a long time.
I'm not sleeping a lot. I took out $3.5 million of personal loans.
And I just want to point out that this isn't some disgruntled rando. This is a doctor who is running a medical facility. This is a competent, educated person who is, as far as I can tell, trying to do what is best for her patients at great personal cost, not just financial cost, but also physical and mental cost. She is one doctor fighting against a giant medical corporation, and corporations, which by definition are required to prioritize profits over all else, are calling shots they never should have been allowed to call in the first place. They're determining who gets what kind of care, and these insurance agents did not go to medical school. They're not the ones sitting and working with patients to determine the best path of care for the individual patient. They're handicapping doctors by not allowing them to do their jobs with autonomy and authority. And it's even worse when the people given oversight over the doctors are people without medical training who, again, by definition, are not prioritizing patient outcomes.
What's at stake for breast cancer survivors and patients here?
Everything. I mean, women's health is embattled. The stakes are human.
Dr. Potter has become increasingly politically involved as a result of her personal experience dealing with these insurance companies, and according to her Instagram, she is currently in Washington meeting with members of Congress to discuss fair pay, mental health support, and protecting healthcare professionals who speak out about things that matter. There's also the Healthcare is Human rally tomorrow on Capitol Hill, so hopefully she's able to continue using her voice in a positive way to drive some kind of change eventually. The fact that she comes from Texas and works in women's healthcare has, I'm sure, been like a trial by fire for her. When I tell you that Texas Democrats have to be so strong because we're up against so much, I'm not kidding, and I think the same could probably be said for someone just like Dr. Potter. And speaking personally, one of my best friends is a doctor, so I get to hear quite a bit about the struggles of the bureaucracy associated with healthcare in this country. There are struggles between doctors and hospital administrators, for instance, and then there are the struggles between doctors and insurance companies. The red tape is everywhere, and the patient often gets worse outcomes as a result. Lawmakers make laws, of course, many without medical backgrounds, and patients suffer because of it. When Roe v. Wade was overturned and abortion was completely banned here in Texas, when doctors were risking incarceration for simply treating patients appropriately, sepsis rates and deaths skyrocketed in the state. Analysis found that maternal deaths in Texas increased 56% between 2019 and 2022, while the nationwide increase was just 11%. Just 11%. Even an 11% increase in maternal deaths in this day and age, with all of this state-of-the-art modern medicine, is preposterous. Any increase is really unacceptable. Shouldn't that number be going down with better technology, not up? Shouldn't our medical outcomes across the board be improving, not worsening? I guess this is what happens though when we prioritize religious fanaticism while firing scientists and qualified workers from important government positions in healthcare. How many medical researchers have been laid off in just the past few years? Why do we have 2 celebrities heading up the health department? One of them is not even a doctor. Dr. Oz is a doctor, sure, but he's not a very good one in the sense that he has now let his personal politics and his ambition and greed get in the way of his personal professional judgment. And I'm not saying doctors can't be politically right-leaning. I live in Texas and I can tell you that they absolutely can be and are, even when it makes no sense at all. A friend of mine had to find another gynecologist recently, very recently, because the gynecologist told her that she was reading too much fake news related to maternal mortality rates. So that's what we're dealing with here. So as we watch the Mangione trials play out in the next few months, I'm sure he will continue to garner plenty of public sympathy and support. However, companies like United Healthcare have learned absolutely nothing from the fact that when their CEO was shot in cold blood on a public street, there was no sympathy to be found amongst the people. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks.